Okay, class, welcome to this benchmark personality research paper. I'm probably posting this in week 6 and 7 to give everyone a head start and a reminder. Definitely want to make sure I go over some kind of structure too. I'm going to go over an outline of what you could do to give you help on top of showing you how you would kind of place it on the APA template that's attached to this post here. Okay. A few things. Make sure you are writing over 2,000 words, 2,000 to 2,500. If you happen to go over 2,500 words, don't go too far over. Also, don't count citations, reference pages, stuff like that. There should be no quoting. Um, Sometimes, actually, pretty much a lot of times when students quote, they overquote and go well under the word count. And if there's too much quoting, even if you're citing, you could get a zero. Okay, so this is worth 140 points. So this is worth a lot out of 1,000 points. Okay, can drop you a lower grade, can raise you a lower grade, could really help out a lot. Wouldn't say it'd raise you over a lower letter grade, but it could drop you definitely under a lower grade than what you're at right now. Um, so there's not much of an outline on these directions, but if you look, I want you to read these directions and make sure you're following it to a T. There has been an issue with students not following tutorials, getting major deductions, and then wondering what they're doing wrong. I always point them back to the tutorials. They get upset because I'm not explaining things fully, but these tutorials really do help out a lot. So please pay close attention. Don't use any first person. Okay, I want to highlight that. You are using your topic from week 4 that you were approved. Do not change it. Okay. Follow the outline as you have it. If there's deductions on your outlines, then make those changes before you write this essay. No first person. I know some people will say, well, I have experience with this. I know somebody who has had these personality disorders, or I know a lot about it because I read up on it. Doesn't matter. Academic essays are about what research states. I respect people's personal views and experiences. Unfortunately, they're not permitted in academic writing. Okay, so keep that in mind. Make sure you have at least 8 to 10 sources. Do not use any websites. Websites, and there's an example of a few, are not known as scholarly. You have to use only GCU Library. Do not use Google. GCU spends thousands of dollars to gain access to articles that you will not be able to find on Google or any other place. So use the library. It's the easiest, best way. All right. Abstract is required. However, it is not part of the word count. Okay. So you write an abstract, but you don't do the word count. You don't add it to your word count. All right. So as you see here, there's a lot going on. You have your 3 subtopic paragraph. So you have your 3 subtopics. I'm going to use the example of me choosing like I used in my example in week 4. Let's say I use paranoid personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, and narcissistic personality disorder. And let's say those are my 3 main subtopics. This is how I'm going to organize um, my 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 essay. I'm going to bring this in right here. Okay, I'm going to have an introduction, um, and these are going to be 5 sections, not 5 paragraphs, 5 sections. Okay, 5 main headings. I'm going to have my introduction with thesis. So you're going to write your introduction in third person. And the last sentence will be the thesis because it's going to introduce what these subtopic sections are going to discuss. Okay? Now, when you get to subtopic 1, let's say I chose paranoid personality disorder. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have this is my heading, and in the first paragraph, I'm going to discuss, I'm going to reveal the disorder. What is this disorder? What is it made of? And what are the main characteristics? I'm going to write a really good paragraph or 2 on that. However long it takes, make sure if it's 1 paragraph, it's one solid paragraph. And make sure you break things up into paragraphs. Don't write one long paragraph for everything. Okay, so when you begin a new thought, begin a new paragraph. And the best way to do that is right here with sections that I'm going to show you right now in a second. But your first subtopic section in subtopic 1 would be talking about the disorder and the main characteristics. Then you'll have another heading that says, how does this affect people's lives? How does it affect their lifestyle? And what are the stigmatisms? There's a stigmatism with mental health, and there shouldn't be. People should not be ashamed if they have a mental disorder. They should be able to cope with it and deal with it without being judged. But there's stigmatisms, and people in society stigmatize people with mental disorders. And then one of the things students really miss when they write this essay, if they don't follow this, is treatment. If there's a mental disorder, there's obviously going to be an attempt for treatment. Some of these disorders may not be fully treatable, but there's going to be some kind of therapy to help the person and the individual cope with this, so they can have a as comfortable lifestyle as they can. Okay, and then you'll see that you'll do the same thing. Your next big heading will be borderline personality disorder, and then you'll do the same thing. You're going to reveal the disorder, the main characteristics. Then you're going to talk about the lifestyle it has, how the people live with it, and the stigmatisms with it, and then treatment. Now you don't have to follow this, but I'm just giving you a structure. This is probably a pretty good structure, but even if you don't follow this to a T, make sure you are revealing the disorder, showing the main characteristics, give examples, and also do treatment too. There's always going to be some kind of treatment involved with it. And that'll help you gain other articles. Okay, so let me show you a little side by side of what I'm talking about here. I'm going to try and overlap these as much as possible. This is a document outline that I showed you just right now, and here's the template. Okay, so after you write your abstract, this is after you write an abstract, and I'll submit the one that shows you the abstract. But remember, the abstract's required. Um, you'll go to you'll just title it whatever the main head and title is. So in my case, I got this under the section of personality disorders, and then I'll have my subtopic paragraphs in a second. So this will be your main topic. Like if you chose the self, it'll be the self. If you chose defense mechanisms, it'll be defense mechanisms. Okay. You have a solid paragraph introducing the disorder. You're not going to necessarily define it here. You're going to introduce it. You're going to introduce what you're going to talk about. The last sentence will be your thesis statement that you have from your outline. If your thesis statement is not correct, let me know. We can work on it before you start doing the essay, or during while you're writing the essay. It's important to have the thesis outlined in here, or written as the last sentence, because it's going to tell you what these next paragraphs are going to be about. Okay, so if you notice here, after the introduction with the thesis, let's say I got that all the way done. I'm going to come here now to paranoid personality disorder. Here it is right here. Okay, that's my first subtopic heading. Okay, and then let's say this paragraph, it's this or longer. Let's say it's longer than this, maybe a couple paragraphs of discussing what the disorder is and the main characteristics. So let's say I did that here. Now notice here I put lifestyles and stigmatisms. So that would take care of B right here. Okay, that'll take care of B. And let's say I have I know these paragraphs are short. Don't use that as an example, but I'm just kind of showing you what it would look like. Let's say this section's like 2 paragraphs, maybe 3 paragraphs with citations. Okay. Then I have treatments as my last section. See? So here's treatments right here, and I have treatments discussed right here. Then notice how I'm done with this section right here. Oops. Let's say I'm done with this section right here. Now I'm going to go to borderline personality disorder. Notice how I have that right here. Okay, so I go through the same thing again. I'm going to introduce what borderline personality disorder is with citations and everything. I'm going to discuss its main characteristics, and then I'm going to jump to lifestyles and stigmatisms, kind of like what I did here and here. Okay, and then I'm going to discuss treatments. CBT or whatever, DBT or whatever the treatment is. I'm going to discuss it here, and then I'm going to keep doing on with the third section the same way. So this is how I would advise doing this. Now remember, you have to cite. Okay, so make sure you're citing the main facts throughout the paragraphs. Okay, your reference page right here, you can throw these references. Let's say this is your references, but you don't use any citations. You didn't use these. You'll get no credit for them. you have to cite what you reference. Okay, they both go hand in hand. So if you're going to place a source on here, you got to make sure you are also citing in the above in the essay. Don't just throw sources here thinking, oh, it's okay, I don't need a cite. If you have if you throw a source down to say you use this article from Copeland, if it's not cited, then it wasn't used. It's not going to count. Okay, it's as if you didn't use it. All right, so you have to show somewhere in here where you used um, this that citation. All right. Now, again, I'm going to send out the template that doesn't have this, but it's the template with the abstract. Okay, use that, write the abstract. The abstract does not count towards the word count. Okay, it never does. All right. So if you have any questions about the structure of this, any of the directions, please let me know. Big disclaimer, tutorials do not replace the reading of the directions or asking of questions. So make sure you're doing both. You're asking questions and you're reading those directions. All right, good luck.